The Galactic Union Council convened for an emergency session. The Grand Hall, adorned with holographic displays of the galaxy, buzzed with tension. Delegates from dozens of species filled the chamber, their varied forms and colors reflecting the diversity of the Union. The Union, an alliance of multiple alien species, was on the brink of collapse under the relentless assault of the Crawdor, a ruthless and technologically superior alien race. Ambassador Selvek of the Yeltrians, with his luminescent eyes and shimmering blue skin, stepped forward to address the assembly. His voice, amplified by the hall's acoustics, carried a tone of urgency. Esteemed members of the Council, we have gathered today facing an existential threat. The Crawdor advance unchecked, their fleets are unstoppable, and their ferocity knows no bounds. Our forces are decimated, our planets are ravaged. We stand at the precipice of annihilation. The delegates murmured among themselves, the gravity of the situation evident on their faces. Selvek continued, "We have exhausted all conventional options. Our technologies, our strategies, our defenses, none have proven sufficient. There is but one hope left: the humans." At the mention of humans, a wave of shock and skepticism rippled through the Council. Humans were a relatively new and unpredictable addition to the galactic community. Known for their fierce independence, adaptability, and sometimes reckless behavior, they had not yet fully integrated into the Union's structured hierarchy. Representative Thalak of the Drathians, a species with scales that shimmered like liquid metal, voiced the concerns of many. "Ambassador Selvek, you propose we entrust our fate to a species with little experience in galactic warfare. They are unpredictable, untested in such matters." Selvek raised a hand to quell the dissent. "I understand your reservations, Representative Thalak, but it is precisely their unpredictability that may offer us a chance. Humans possess a unique combination of resilience, ingenuity, and unconventional tactics. They have survived and thrived in environments deemed hostile by most standards. They are our last, best hope." A silence fell over the hall as the delegates pondered Selvek's words. The stakes were clear: continue with their current strategies and face certain defeat, or gamble on the unconventional humans. The decision was not easy, but desperation often breeds boldness. Captain Mara Bennett of the Earth Defense Fleet stood aboard her flagship, the Intrepid, when she received the urgent transmission. The message, marked with the highest level of priority, crackled to life on her command console. As she read the details, her expression shifted from curiosity to grim determination. The Union's plea for assistance was both humbling and daunting. The Galactic Union, a coalition of advanced alien civilizations, was turning to Earth, a relatively young and isolated member of the galactic community, for salvation. It was a testament to the dire circumstances they faced. Captain Bennett, a seasoned officer with a reputation for tactical brilliance, felt a surge of responsibility. She quickly activated the ship's communication system, summoning her senior staff. "All senior officers, report to the briefing room immediately. We have a mission of utmost importance." Minutes later, the key members of her crew gathered around the central holotable. Lieutenant Rajesh Patel, the ship's tactical officer with his sharp intellect and strategic mind, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the ship's xenobiologist, known for her expertise in alien life forms, and Chief Engineer Ivan Volkov, a man whose ingenuity with machines was unmatched. Admiral Thorne, her commanding officer, appeared on the holoscreen. His stern face softened slightly as he saw the assembled team. "Captain Bennett, you've been briefed on the situation. The Galactic Union is on the verge of collapse. Their best hope now lies with us." Bennett nodded. "Understood, Admiral. We'll depart immediately." Thorne's expression grew serious. "This mission is unlike any we've faced before. The Crawdor are ruthless and technologically advanced. The Union's request is a testament to their desperation. Captain, assemble your best crew. The fate of the galaxy may rest on our shoulders." As the transmission ended, Bennett turned to her team. "You heard the Admiral. We have a galaxy to save. Lieutenant Patel, prepare the tactical plans. Dr. Rodriguez, gather all available data on the Crawdor. Volkov, ensure the Intrepid is at peak performance. We leave within the hour." Captain Mara Bennett and her crew approached the Galactic Union headquarters. a massive space station orbiting the planet Zorath. The station, a marvel of interstellar engineering, glittered with the light of 1,000 stars. As the Intrepid docked, they were greeted by a delegation of Union officials, led by Ambassador Selvek. The docking bay was bustling with activity. Representatives from various species, each distinct in their appearance and mannerisms, moved with a sense of urgency. Captain Bennett and her team disembarked, their presence drawing curious glances and hopeful whispers. Ambassador Selvek, with his luminescent eyes and shimmering blue skin, stepped forward. "Captain Bennett, welcome to the Galactic Union headquarters. Your arrival is timely. The Council awaits your briefing." Bennett nodded, appreciating the gravity of the situation. "Thank you, Ambassador. We're ready to assist." Selvek led them through the grand corridors of the station, adorned with holographic displays depicting historical moments of the Union's formation and achievements. They entered the council chamber, a vast hall filled with representatives from countless worlds. The air was thick with tension and anticipation. As they took their places, Selvek addressed the assembly. "Esteemed members of the Council, we have with us today Captain Mara Bennett and her team from Earth. Their expertise and unique approach may be our last hope against the Crador." Captain Bennett stepped forward, her voice steady and confident. "Thank you, Ambassador Selvek. Members of the Council, my team and I are honored to be here. We understand the enormity of the task ahead. We will do everything in our power to help you defeat the Crador and restore peace to the galaxy." Lieutenant Patel, Dr. Rodriguez, and Chief Engineer Volkov stood beside her, each ready to contribute their skills. Patel, with his sharp, tactical mind, began analyzing the Union's battle reports. Rodriguez, the xenobiologist, started gathering data on the Crador's physiology. Volkov, the engineering genius, assessed the station's defenses and ship capabilities. The council members watched with a mix of hope and skepticism. They had seen their forces decimated, their worlds ravaged. Trusting their fate to these newcomers was a gamble, but it was a gamble they had to take. Ambassador Selvek offered a reassuring smile. "Captain Bennett, your reputation precedes you. The Union's survival hinges on your ingenuity and determination. We place our trust in you." Bennett felt the weight of their expectations. "We won't let you down. Let's get to work." The Intrepid joined the remnants of the Union fleet in orbit around the besieged planet of Arcania. The planet, once a thriving hub of commerce and culture, now bore the scars of relentless Crador assaults. The Union ships, though battered and worn, formed a defensive perimeter, ready for another desperate stand. Captain Bennett stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. The Crador ships, with their biomechanical design and fearsome weaponry, loomed on the edge of the system. "Lieutenant Patel, what do we know about their formation?" Patel, analyzing the data, responded quickly. "They're using a standard envelopment tactic, likely to overwhelm our defenses. However, their center seems less fortified. A concentrated strike there could disrupt their command chain." Bennett nodded. "Good. Dr. Rodriguez, any insights on their biology?" Rodriguez, reviewing her data, replied, "Their exoskeletons are incredibly tough, but they have a critical vulnerability to extreme cold. If we can exploit that, we might gain an advantage." Chief Engineer Volkov, busy at his station, chimed in. "I can modify our torpedoes to deliver cryogenic payloads. It'll take some time, but it could work." Bennett's mind raced with possibilities. "Do it. Meanwhile, let's prepare for engagement. Patel, coordinate with the Union fleet. We'll execute a feint to draw them in, then hit their center hard." The Union ships moved into position, following Bennett's strategy. As the Crador advanced, the Union forces executed the feint, drawing the Crador into a trap. The Intrepid, leading the assault, launched the modified torpedoes. The cryogenic payloads detonated, engulfing the Crador ships in a wave of freezing energy. The Crador, unprepared for such an attack, faltered. Their command chain disrupted. The Union fleet seized the opportunity to press the advantage. Bennett's unconventional tactics and the crew's quick adaptations began to turn the tide of the battle. On the bridge of the Intrepid, Bennett watched as the Crador forces retreated. "Lieutenant Patel, what's their status?" Patel, scanning the readings, smiled. "They're falling back. We've disrupted their formation. They're in disarray." The Union fleet, inspired by the humans' success, pursued the Crador, driving them from Arcania's orbit. The victory, though hard-fought, was a significant morale boost. Captain Bennett addressed the Union fleet. "This is just the beginning. The Crador are formidable, but they're not invincible. Together, we can defeat them." Cheers erupted across the communication channels. For the first time in months, hope surged through the ranks of the Union forces. The humans had proven their worth, and the fight for the galaxy had taken a turn in their favor. Amidst the chaos of war, the humans discovered potential allies in the most unexpected places. The Vortani, a reclusive species known for their advanced cloaking technology and unparalleled stealth capabilities, had remained neutral until now. Their small, sleek ships were a rare sight, even in Union space. High Counselor Lyria of the Vortani, a tall and graceful figure with iridescent skin and piercing violet eyes, reached out to Captain Bennett with an offer of assistance. The communication came through as the Intrepid was undergoing repairs in a secluded asteroid field. "Captain Bennett, this is High Counselor Lyria of the Vortani. We have observed the Crador's brutality and recognize the threat they pose to all life in the galaxy. We wish to join your fight." Bennett, intrigued by the unexpected offer, replied, "Counselor Lyria, your assistance would be invaluable. What do you propose?" Lyria's image on the screen remained composed. "Our cloaking technology can provide you with the element of surprise. We propose a joint operation to disrupt the Crador's supply lines and strike at their heart. If we combine our forces, we can inflict significant damage." Bennett nodded. "Agreed. We'll coordinate our efforts. Let's discuss the details." The Vortani ships, with their advanced cloaking devices, allowed the Union fleet to execute ambushes on Crador convoys. The joint operations, meticulously planned and executed with precision, resulted in the crippling of several Crador supply routes. The Crador, unaccustomed to such guerrilla tactics, struggled to adapt. In one particularly daring mission, the Intrepid and a Vortani strike team infiltrated a Crador shipyard. Using cloaking technology to avoid detection, they planted explosives on key installations. The ensuing destruction dealt a significant blow to the Crador's ability to produce warships. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's research into the Crador's biomechanical physiology yielded a breakthrough. She had spent countless hours analyzing captured Crador specimens and data from previous encounters. Her findings revealed a critical vulnerability that could be exploited to turn the tide of the war. In the Intrepid's laboratory, Dr. Rodriguez presented her findings to Captain Bennett and the senior staff. "The Crador's exoskeletons are incredibly durable, but I've discovered a significant weakness. Their biomechanical structure is highly susceptible to extreme cold. If we can deliver a targeted cryogenic attack, we could incapacitate their ships and troops." Bennett leaned forward, intrigued. "How do we deploy this effectively in battle?" Rodriguez pointed to a schematic on the holo display. "I've developed a modification for our torpedoes to carry cryogenic agents. When detonated, they will release a concentrated burst of extreme cold, freezing the Crador's biomechanical systems and rendering them inoperative." Chief Engineer Volkov examined the schematics. "I can implement these modifications on our torpedoes and retrofit them to our existing arsenal. It will take some time, but it's feasible." Lieutenant Patel, ever the strategist, added, "We should use this to our advantage in a major engagement. If we can catch the Crador off guard, we could deliver a devastating blow." Captain Bennett's mind raced with possibilities. "Agreed. We'll need to choose our target carefully. Let's prepare the torpedoes and coordinate with the Union fleet. This could be the edge we need." The modifications were made swiftly, and the Union fleet prepared for their next major engagement. The target, a Crador forward command base, heavily fortified and critical to their operations in the sector. As the Union fleet approached, cloaked by the Vortani ships, the modified torpedoes were loaded and ready. Captain Bennett, from the bridge of the Intrepid, issued the order. "Engage the enemy. Deploy the cryogenic torpedoes." The torpedoes streaked towards their targets, and upon impact, released their freezing payload. The Crador ships, caught completely off guard, began to seize up as their biomechanical systems froze. The once formidable Crador forces were rendered vulnerable, their ships drifting helplessly. Seizing the opportunity, the Union fleet launched a full-scale assault. The Crador's defenses crumbled, and their command base was obliterated. The victory was decisive and marked a turning point in the war. Captain Bennett stood on the bridge, watching the aftermath of the battle. "Dr. Rodriguez, your discovery has given us a crucial advantage. Well done." Rodriguez smiled, a mix of relief and pride evident on her face. "Thank you, Captain. It's a team effort. Now let's keep pressing our advantage." The success of the cryogenic attack galvanized the Union forces. Morale soared as they saw a glimmer of hope. Captain Bennett, now a respected figure among the Union species, led a daring offensive to reclaim the planet Lyrius, a key strategic location. The Union fleet assembled near the outskirts of the Lyrius system, where the Crador had established a formidable stronghold. The planet, once a vibrant hub of commerce and culture, was now heavily fortified with Crador warships and defense installations. In the command center of the Intrepid, Captain Bennett addressed her senior officers. "Our objective is to reclaim Lyrius. The Crador have turned it into a fortress, but we have an advantage they don't expect: the element of surprise and our new cryogenic weaponry." Lieutenant Patel, studying the tactical display, added, "If we target their main defensive stations with our cryogenic torpedoes, we can create openings for our forces to breach their perimeter." Dr. Rodriguez nodded. "Additionally, I've developed a secondary payload that can be deployed to disrupt their biomechanical systems further, causing chaos within their ranks." Chief Engineer Volkov grinned. "Our ships are ready, Captain. We've integrated the new weaponry and reinforced our shields. The Crador won't know what hit them." As the fleet moved into position, cloaked by Vortani technology, they prepared for the assault. The plan was to hit the Crador defenses hard and fast, using the cryogenic torpedoes to neutralize their strongest points. The attack commenced with precision. The Union ships, under Bennett's command, launched the cryogenic torpedoes, targeting the Crador's key defensive installations. The explosion sent waves of freezing energy through the enemy lines, incapacitating their defenses. Seizing the moment, the Union fleet advanced. The Crador, caught off guard, scrambled to respond, but were met with relentless Union firepower. The battle for Lyrius was fierce, with both sides sustaining heavy losses. The Crador's biomechanical soldiers, once feared for their resilience, fell victim to the freezing attacks, their systems malfunctioning and their ranks in disarray. On the surface of Lyrius, Union ground forces, led by elite human and alien soldiers, launched coordinated strikes against the Crador occupation forces. The combined might of the Union's diverse species proved too much for the Crador to handle. Captain Bennett's tactical genius and the unwavering determination of her crew were pivotal. The Crador were driven back, marking the first significant victory for the Union in months. Lyrius was reclaimed, its people liberated, and the Crador's grip on the sector broken. Victory was short-lived. The Union Council received intelligence that a high-ranking official, Ambassador Krell of the Xanthar, had been colluding with the Crador. His betrayal threatened to unravel their hard-won gains. Captain Bennett and her team were summoned to a covert meeting in the heart of the Union headquarters. Ambassador Selvek, looking graver than ever, briefed them on the situation. "We have credible evidence that Ambassador Krell has been providing the Crador with sensitive information about our movements and strategies. His actions have cost us dearly and could jeopardize our future operations." Bennett's eyes narrowed. "We need to act quickly. If Krell is indeed a traitor, we must expose him and prevent any further damage." Selvek nodded. "Agreed. Your mission is to gather concrete evidence of his betrayal and bring him to justice. This will not be easy. Krell is highly influential and has many allies within the Council." Lieutenant Patel, ever the strategist, suggested a plan. "We'll need to infiltrate Krell's network and obtain proof of his dealings with the Crador. It will require stealth and precision." Dr. Rodriguez added, "I'll analyze any communications and data we retrieve to find incriminating evidence. We'll need to be thorough." Chief Engineer Volkov prepared the necessary equipment for the mission. I'll ensure we have the tech we need to bypass any security measures. The team set off for Krell's private residence on the neutral planet of Thalassa, known for its dense urban landscape and labyrinthine infrastructure. The mission required them to move carefully, blending into the environment while avoiding detection. Using Vortani cloaking devices and advanced surveillance tools, they infiltrated Krell's compound. Patel hacked into the secure communication lines, retrieving encrypted messages that detailed Krell's collaboration with the Crador. Dr. Rodriguez worked swiftly to decrypt the data, uncovering the extent of the betrayal. As they gathered the evidence, they were discovered by Krell's personal guards. A tense confrontation ensued, with the team narrowly escaping capture. They managed to transmit the evidence back to the Union headquarters before being forced to retreat. Upon their return, the evidence was presented to the Council. Ambassador Krell, confronted with the irrefutable proof of his treachery, attempted to flee but was apprehended by Union security forces. His arrest sent shockwaves through the Union, but it also reinforced the resolve of its members to root out corruption and betrayal. Captain Bennett addressed the Council. Krell's betrayal has cost us dearly, but it has also shown us the importance of unity and vigilance. We must remain steadfast and ensure that such treachery never happens again. The Council, unified in their determination, pledged to strengthen their security measures and rebuild the trust that had been shaken. The war against the Crador continued, but the Union emerged stronger, more resilient, and ready to face the challenges ahead. Ambassador Krell's treachery led to a devastating ambush. The Union fleet, lured into a trap by false intelligence, suffered severe losses. Captain Bennett's quick thinking and the bravery of her crew averted total annihilation, but the cost was high. The Intrepid limped back to the nearest Union outpost, its hull battered, and crew demoralized. Captain Bennett convened a meeting with her senior officers to assess the situation. We were fortunate to escape with our lives. The Crador hit us hard, and we lost many good people. Lieutenant Patel's voice was grim. Our fleet is in disarray. We need to regroup and reassess our strategies. The Crador are exploiting our weaknesses. Dr. Rodriguez, tending to the wounded in the medical bay, felt the weight of their losses. The crew is shaken, Captain. Morale is low. We need a victory, something to rally behind. Chief Engineer Volkov, working tirelessly to repair the ship, added, The Intrepid will be battle-ready soon. But we need more than just repairs. We need a plan to hit back hard. Bennett knew that regaining their footing was crucial. She addressed the Union Council via holo communication. The Crador have shown their ruthlessness, but we cannot afford to be divided. We must rebuild our strength and strike back. We need to rally our allies and remind them what we're fighting for. The Council, though shaken by recent events, stood behind Bennett. Resources were allocated for ship repairs and reinforcements. Messages of solidarity poured in from across the Union, renewing a sense of purpose. In a race against time, Captain Bennett led an expedition to an ancient, abandoned outpost, rumored to house a weapon of immense power. The journey was fraught with peril, but the team pressed on, driven by the hope that this weapon could turn the tide of the war. The outpost, located on the desolate planet of Zathra, was shrouded in mystery. According to legend, it was built by a long-extinct civilization known as the Alvarians, who had mastered technologies far beyond the current capabilities of the Union or the Crador. Bennett, accompanied by Dr. Rodriguez, Lieutenant Patel, and Chief Engineer Volkov, landed on the planet's surface. The outpost, a massive structure partially buried in sand and rock, loomed ahead, its architecture unlike anything they had seen before. As they explored the outpost, they encountered sophisticated security systems and traps. Volkov's engineering skills proved invaluable as he disabled ancient mechanisms and deciphered complex codes. This place is a treasure trove of advanced technology, he marveled. The Alvarians were truly ahead of their time. Deep within the outpost, they discovered the weapon, a planetary defense system capable of generating a massive energy shield and launching powerful energy pulses. Dr. Rodriguez, analyzing the control panels, explained, This system could protect entire planets from Crador attacks, and even disrupt their ship's biomechanical systems. Lieutenant Patel, examining the strategic implications, added, "If we can activate and control this weapon, we could turn it into a fortress against the Crador. It could be the key to our survival." Bennett made the decision. "We need to get this system operational and bring it back online. Volkov, can you make it happen?" Volkov nodded. "It will take time and resources, but I can do it. We need to secure this location and bring in a team to assist with the repairs and activation." The team worked tirelessly, overcoming numerous challenges posed by the ancient technology. As they neared completion, the Crador, having detected the Union's interest in the outpost, launched an assault to seize it for themselves. A fierce battle ensued. The Union forces, bolstered by the Intrepid and its crew, fought valiantly to defend the outpost. Captain Bennett, leading the charge, inspired her team with her determination and tactical brilliance. As the Crador pressed their attack, Volkov managed to activate the planetary defense system. A massive energy shield enveloped the outpost, repelling the Crador forces and protecting the Union soldiers. The system's energy pulses struck the Crador ships, causing them to malfunction and retreat in disarray. With the ancient weapon now under Union control, the tide of the war began to shift. The outpost became a symbol of hope and resilience, a testament to the Union's ingenuity and determination. Captain Bennett addressed the Union Council once more. "We have secured a powerful weapon, one that can protect our worlds and disrupt the Crador's operations. This is a turning point. We will use this advantage to reclaim our territories and bring the fight to the Crador." With the ancient weapon activated, the Union prepared to defend the planet Trion, a critical hub in the galaxy. Trion's strategic location and resources made it a prime target for the Crador, who were desperate to regain their footing after their recent setbacks. The Union fleet, bolstered by the power of the Alvarian planetary defense system, established a strong defensive perimeter around Trion. Captain Bennett, now a key figure in the Union's military command, coordinated the defenses from the bridge of the Intrepid. "Lieutenant Patel, position our ships to maximize coverage of the energy shield," Bennett ordered. "We need to ensure that the Crador can't break through." Patel nodded, swiftly relaying the orders. "We'll create overlapping fields of fire to cover any gaps. The Crador won't find an easy way in." Dr. Rodriguez worked tirelessly in the medical bay, preparing for the inevitable casualties. "We'll set up field hospitals on the surface. The shield will buy us time, but we need to be ready for ground engagements." Chief Engineer Volkov made final adjustments to the Alvarian weapon systems, ensuring they were operating at full capacity. "Captain, the energy pulses are calibrated and ready. We can launch a focused strike at any point within the shield." As the Crador fleet approached, their ships darkened the skies over Trion. The initial assault was brutal, with waves of biomechanical ships slamming against the Union's defenses. The energy shield held firm, absorbing the brunt of the attacks and dispersing the energy harmlessly into space. Captain Bennett watched the tactical display intently. "They're testing our defenses. Patel, prepare to counterattack. Volkov, fire the energy pulses at their command ships." The Intrepid and the Union fleet launched a coordinated counterattack. The Alvarian energy pulses struck the Crador command ships with pinpoint accuracy, causing massive damage and disrupting their command structure. The Crador, momentarily thrown into chaos, struggled to regroup. On the ground, Union forces, including human and alien soldiers, prepared for potential invasions. The Crador, known for their relentless assaults, deployed ground troops in an attempt to breach the defenses. The battle on the surface was fierce, with hand-to-hand combat and tactical skirmishes erupting across the planet. Captain Bennett's leadership and strategic acumen proved invaluable. She directed airstrikes, coordinated artillery barrages, and led her troops with unwavering resolve. The Union forces, inspired by her bravery, fought back with everything they had. As the siege dragged on, the Crador's attacks grew more desperate. Their relentless assault began to take its toll on the Union's defenses. However, the Alvarian weapon system continued to provide a crucial advantage, repelling major assaults and keeping the Crador at bay. After days of intense fighting, the Crador fleet began to falter. The combined might of the Union's space and ground forces, along with the devastating power of the Alvarian weapon, proved too much for the Crador to overcome. They retreated, their ships scattering into the void. The battle for Trion was a hard-fought victory. The Union had successfully defended the planet and dealt a significant blow to the Crador's war efforts. Captain Bennett addressed her exhausted but triumphant crew. "Today we showed the Crador that we will not be conquered. Trion stands strong, and so does the Union." The victory at Trion became a symbol of hope and resilience for the entire galaxy. The Union, now more united than ever, prepared to take the fight to the Crador and end their threat once and for all. As the war dragged on, both sides suffered immense casualties. The Crador, driven by their fanatical devotion to conquest, showed no signs of relenting. The Union, inspired by the resilience and ingenuity of the humans, fought back with renewed vigor. Captain Bennett and her team knew that the final battles would determine the fate of the galaxy. The Crador's relentless push had strained the Union's resources, and every engagement became a fight for survival. The Union Council convened, discussing strategies to end the war decisively. "We must strike at the heart of their operations," Captain Bennett proposed, "a direct assault on their primary command center. If we can cut off the head, the body will fall." Ambassador Selvek, representing the Council, nodded in agreement. "It's a risky plan, but it may be our only chance. Captain Bennett, you will lead the assault. We will allocate all available resources to support this mission." The Union fleet, assembled for the final push, was a formidable force. Ships from every member species, each bringing their unique strengths, joined the effort. The Vortani's cloaking technology, the Alvarian weapon systems, and the tactical brilliance of the humans were all brought to bear. As they approached the Crador's primary command center, the tension was palpable. The Crador, anticipating a major offensive, had fortified their defenses. The battle that ensued was the largest and most brutal of the war. The Union fleet, led by the Intrepid, launched a full-scale assault, engaging the Crador in a series of intense space battles. Captain Bennett, coordinating from the bridge, issued rapid-fire commands. "Patel, focus fire on their flanking maneuvers. Volkov, keep those energy pulses coming. Rodriguez, status on our ground forces?" Dr. Rodriguez, monitoring the situation, reported, "Ground forces are engaging the Crador's elite units. It's fierce, but they're holding their own." The Union fleet pressed their advantage, using the Alvarian weapon to disrupt the Crador's formations and create openings for their ships. The Vortani cloaked ships executed surprise attacks, taking out key Crador vessels. On the ground, Union soldiers fought with everything they had. Human, Yeltrian, Drathian, and other species fought side by side, their unity and determination driving them forward. The Crador, despite their superior technology, were overwhelmed by the sheer tenacity of the Union forces. As the battle raged, Captain Bennett identified the Crador's primary command ship. "All ships, concentrate fire on the command vessel. We take that out and we end this." The combined firepower of the Union fleet converged on the Crador command ship. The Alvarian energy pulses, Vortani precision strikes, and relentless barrage from the Union ships tore through the Crador's defenses. The command ship, a massive biomechanical monstrosity, began to falter under the assault. With a final, devastating salvo, the Crador command ship exploded, sending shockwaves through their fleet. The Crador, their command structure shattered, began to retreat in disarray. The Union forces, seizing the moment, pursued them relentlessly, ensuring that the Crador could not regroup. As the last of the Crador ships fled, a cheer erupted across the Union fleet. The battle for survival had been won, and the galaxy was saved from the brink of destruction. Captain Bennett, exhausted but triumphant, addressed her crew and the Union Council. "We have faced the greatest threat our galaxy has ever known, and we have emerged victorious. The Crador's reign of terror is over. Let us honor the fallen and rebuild what has been lost. Together we will forge a future of peace and unity." The Union Council devised a plan for a final decisive assault on the Crador homeworld. The plan was high risk, but it represented the only chance for lasting peace. Captain Bennett was chosen to lead the assault, a testament to her leadership and the trust she had earned. The preparations for the final assault were intense and meticulous. The Union fleet, now a unified force composed of ships from every member species, gathered at a secure staging area. The atmosphere was charged with a mix of determination and anticipation. Captain Bennett stood on the bridge of the Intrepid, addressing her crew and the assembled fleet via holo communication. "This is it. The Crador homeworld is heavily fortified and they will be expecting us. But we have the element of surprise, and we have each other. We fight not just for ourselves, but for the future of our galaxy." Lieutenant Patel reviewed the tactical plans one last time. "We'll deploy in 3 waves. The first wave will focus on breaching their outer defenses, the second will target their planetary shield generators, and the third will land ground forces to take out their command centers." Dr. Rodriguez, coordinating with the medical teams, prepared for the inevitable casualties. "We've set up advanced triage centers on our support ships. We need to be ready for a high number of wounded." Chief Engineer Volkov ensured that all ships were in optimal condition. "We've made final enhancements to our weaponry and defenses. The Alvarian energy pulses are fully operational." As the fleet approached the Crador homeworld, the scale of the challenge became clear. The planet was surrounded by layers of defense platforms, patrol ships, and a massive energy shield. The Crador had fortified their stronghold, anticipating a desperate last stand. The first wave of the Union fleet, led by the Intrepid, engaged the outer defenses. The battle was fierce, with explosions lighting up the darkness of space. The Union ships, coordinated and determined, pushed through the Crador's initial line of defense. The cryogenic torpedoes and Alvarian energy pulses proved effective in disrupting the Crador's formations. The second wave targeted the planetary shield generators. Vortani cloaked ships infiltrated enemy lines, delivering precision strikes that took out key shield emitters. The massive energy shield flickered and then collapsed, exposing the Crador homeworld to direct attack. The third wave, consisting of ground forces, prepared to land on the planet's surface. Captain Bennett led the landing force, her presence inspiring confidence among the troops. The descent through the atmosphere was turbulent, with anti-aircraft fire filling the skies. Despite the intense resistance, the Union forces made it to the ground, ready for the final confrontation. On the surface, the Crador fought with unmatched ferocity. The Union troops, a mix of human and alien soldiers, advanced through the fortified cities and biomechanical structures. The battle was brutal, with close-quarters combat and relentless skirmishes. Captain Bennett, leading from the front, coordinated the ground assault. "Focus on their command centers. If we can disrupt their leadership, we can break their resistance." Union forces pushed towards the heart of the Crador's stronghold. Using a combination of advanced weaponry and tactical ingenuity, they breached the final defensive lines. The Crador, realizing their imminent defeat, fought with desperation, but the Union's unity and resolve proved stronger. The pivotal moment came when Captain Bennett and her team reached the central command center. The Crador leaders, cornered and defiant, made a last stand. The battle was intense, but Bennett's tactical brilliance and the determination of her troops prevailed. With the Crador command structure shattered, their forces began to crumble. The Union fleet in orbit mopped up the remaining resistance, ensuring that no reinforcements could turn the tide. The Crador homeworld fell, but the victory came at a tremendous cost. Many brave soldiers and ships were lost. The Union mourned its dead, but the survivors knew they had achieved something monumental. In the aftermath of the final battle, the Union forces began the grim task of counting the dead and assessing the damage. Captain Bennett, exhausted and reflective, walked through the ruins of the Crador Command Center, contemplating the heavy price of victory. A memorial service was held aboard the Intrepid, with representatives from every Union species in attendance. Holographic images of the fallen were displayed, their sacrifices honored by the galaxy they had saved. Captain Bennett addressed the assembled crowd, her voice steady despite the emotional weight of the moment. "We have faced an enemy that threatened to extinguish the light of our civilization. We fought back with courage, with unity, and with the unbreakable spirit that defines us all. Today we remember those who gave their lives for our future. They will never be forgotten. Lieutenant Patel, standing beside her, added, "Their sacrifice has paved the way for a new era. It's up to us to ensure that their legacy endures, that we build a galaxy worthy of their courage." Dr. Rodriguez, deeply moved by the loss of so many lives, spoke to the importance of healing and rebuilding. "We have a long road ahead. We must care for the wounded, support the bereaved, and rebuild what has been destroyed. Together, we can create a future of peace and prosperity." Chief Engineer Volkov, reflecting on the technological advancements that had played a crucial role in their victory, emphasized the need for continued cooperation and innovation. The Alvarian weapon was a key to our success, but it was our unity and collaboration that truly won the day. Let's carry that spirit forward. As the memorial service concluded, the Union Council convened to discuss the future. The war had left scars across the galaxy, but it had also forged unbreakable bonds between its member species. The Council, led by Ambassador Selvek, pledged to work towards a lasting peace and a unified galaxy. "Captain Bennett, your leadership has been instrumental in our victory," Selvek said. "We owe you and your team a debt of gratitude. The Union stands ready to support the reconstruction efforts and to ensure that such a conflict never arises again." Bennett, humbled by the praise, replied, "It was a collective effort. Every member of the Union played a part. Now we must focus on rebuilding and strengthening the bonds that have brought us together." The Union, with renewed purpose, began the arduous task of reconstruction. Planets devastated by the war received aid, and efforts to rebuild infrastructure and restore ecosystems were launched. The Alvarian technology, once a weapon of war, was repurposed for peaceful applications, helping to heal the scars of conflict.